Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to go through a backtesting session on gold because I know you guys liked that video the last time I did it. So I'm going to be taking you through a personal strategy that I'm going to be testing, and also the rules that I will put in place to test that strategy, and I'll go through how exactly I would go about doing this on the website called FX Replay, which, if you don't know, is a software like TradingView bar replay, but it does all your analytics for you, and it also means you can't cheat because you can't go back in time. So you can't go back and then replay the bars. You have to just keep going, unlike TradingView bar replay where you can do that and sometimes cheat if you're not honest with yourself. So if we get into that now, and I'll start with the backtesting. Alright guys, so first of all, I'm going to be going through the rules that I'm actually going to be using and the strategy that I'm going to be testing. So for this one, I want to test confirmation entries on gold, and for this, these are basically the rules that I have in place for that particular entry type. So the first thing we are going to do is highlight a higher time frame point of interest, which have to have these three criteria. So they have to be imbalanced, it has to be a supply demand area, and there has to be some sort of liquidity above or below. And then what we're going to do is go to the lower time frames, normally the 30-minute or the 15. I don't really like to go lower than the 5, so 5 will be the lowest I'm going to use. And we need to see some sort of breaker structure to confirm a new trend, and we need to see an imbalanced level of supply and demand, which we'll be entering from. So first of all, I thought I'd pick a random date, so you know that I'm not just gonna go to a specific date that I've already back tested and then just play price from there. It is going to be in 2021 because any further back you can't really go to the lower time frames, and any further forward than that is too recent, and I'd probably be able to remember the price action, so it wouldn't be fair. So if we first of all just get a random date, so the 21st of May, we'll create a new session, go with 400k, gold, and 21st of May. End date we'll just do, it doesn't really matter because we're not going to do the whole of 2021 anyway, so there we go, and we start the session. Get rid of these. So currently, I always like to start on the daily whenever I'm doing some fresh analysis. So over on the daily time frame, you can see that we have this uptrend, but that's an internal uptrend. The main points of the trend, this is the swing low, this is the swing high, and then this is the new swing low. So now we'll be anticipating a lower high to form for price to continue down and take out this area down here. And places where we could potentially see that, I see two levels. So we either have this area of supply, or we also do have this area of imbalance just in here where price could come up and fill. If we go to the 4 hour, we can probably refine that. Yeah, so we can refine it to this sort of area of supply. This one would obviously be preferred because this one could just act as liquidity below this level, and we can also refine that level to this to this supply area here. So those are the two levels where I'd be looking for price to reverse on the daily time frame and then turn bearish, but we could probably catch buys up to those levels since price has about 150 pips up to those levels. So going to the one hour, the first thing I usually do, we'll highlight on the main structure points. So we've clearly had a breaker structure here. And we also have an area of imbalanced demand down here, which price is sort of creating liquidity just above. So if price comes to this level, it will be quite interesting to see how we react. Yeah, so let's see if price comes to our level. If it breaks structure here, then I'll invalidate it. Yeah, so price broke structure, so that level now is invalid. We'll draw that on as a further break of structure. So next levels where we could see buys, we obviously have this being the low and this being the high of the current range that we are in. And the only areas of inefficient demand that I really see, we have this area, sort of like a consolidation area before price made its impulsive move. We also have this one below. So if price gives us a pullback, so price has already reached our sell level, so now we can get rid of these as we are no longer looking for buys. Obviously we need to wait for our confirmation first. So because this is a daily level of supply, I'd want to see some sort of hourly break of structure. We see if that happens. There we go. So I'm not liking that actually. I think this is probably just an inducement since we haven't created any inefficient price action. We do have this level here, but there's liquidity above. And this area of supply here was already tapped. So this isn't really convincing for a sell in my opinion. So we'll just wait a little bit. Not seeing anything yet. There we go. So price has taken this level of liquidity now. So I think we can probably expect the real move to happen just after that. So if we see, there we go. So notice now what price has done. We had this area of liquidity being built up, and price has now taken that, came into the 50% area of our level of supply, and we've also had this break of structure, which we'll label as a change of character because it's a break of structure against the trend. Areas to enter from. Not really seeing anything too clean at the moment. So I'm going to play price a little bit first. See on the 2 hour. Alright, so the 2 hour looks pretty clean. So we have this sort of level. Very clean level of supply, which created imbalance and broke structure. So right now we're just gonna set a limit and see what happens. Since we have tapped into a daily level, we can look to target some daily levels of interest. Within this range, I'm not really seeing any targets, but down here, we obviously have these two levels of imbalance. So I'd probably be targeting this one down here, since there is liquidity below this one, so I don't see it holding. Maybe have stops above here actually, and place the trade. We can also look for some scale-ins because this is more of a swing trade. based on the higher time frame if it gets tagged in. All right, there we go. So that got tagged in. Now price has given us a further breaker structure just here. In order to scale into this, I'd want to make the initial one break even. So I'm not really seeing any levels where we could go break even at the moment. Look how price reacted from this area of supply. And we have also broken out of this structure as well. So you could mark that on. But either way, price has clearly switched its trend now. We've had liquidity taken, breaker structure. All of the demand is failing. Supply is starting to take control after price came to our daily level. So what we can expect now is for price most likely to come all the way down and take out this daily low, which we will mark on actually, just so we know when our target, our higher time frame target is met. Call that daily low. And now we can look for some scalings. I'm not seeing anything at the moment, but we'll keep playing price. We do have this level where price may want to react from. If it even wants to pull back there, which doesn't look like it wants to. Alright, so yeah, this will be our scaling level where we can look for further sells. Still confident this isn't going to reverse on us because price has only come to this sort of area of liquidity. It hasn't came to a sufficient level of demand. So I am expecting this to still come down and hit our initial take profit. Going back to the 1 hour. See what price wants to do. There's no structure there for price to break, so this is probably just a pullback. Price came above that level. We still do have this level of supply, so we just keep playing it, see where it reacts. So price has now actually come up. It filled this imbalance. This whole bullish move up on the 4 hour would be our area of supply. So price has come into that area. We also had a wick out of this level. And after price did that, it continued down and broke past structure. So the main level I'd want to see break for further sells would be this one. And then we can look to get in on a pullback. So if we label that and see if price breaks. Okay, there we go. So we did get a breaker structure. We also do have this very clean level of demand immediately below. So we could say this is liquidity. This is an area of imbalanced demand, causing an impulsive move. And it also did kind of break this structure. So I think it's valid for a buy to sell. And in this case, we would just set a limit on the area. And where would I target? I'd probably target where we look to get in for the sells. And for me, I have two real areas for the sells which I'd need confirmation at. So this one, and price may also want to retest this area of supply. So if we place the limit and buy up to this level, if price actually wants to come and tap us in, it might just miss. Oh, that was nice. So very clean trade, and now we can look for the sells. So price is coming to our first level. If we wait and see how it reacts. All right, so it closed above. This one's now invalid. All right, price is in our second level. There we go. We had the break of structure. Very nice. On the 1H, I think we'll probably just enter here with stops above the high. There's no point being greedy and waiting for price to pull back to here because it might not happen. And we will have the same target as our initial trade. I'll move stops to break even on this initial trade, just so then we still only have 1% risk on the table, and targeting this level, same as before. And we'll set the limit. There we go. Price tagged us in. There we go, and price never pulls back to our area, so that was a good decision. When price breaks this level, we can look for another position as well. Just get rid of these so it's more tidy. Mark this on as a breaker structure. This one can go because it's an internal breaker structure, so not really relevant now. There we go, further breaker structure. Price broke below. So areas where we can look for another scaling. We have the 15. Not really seeing that much at the moment. I'll just keep playing price. Price seems to be liking this level. If we look on the higher time frames, I probably wouldn't take this because there's not really a valid higher time frame level of supply there. We can label this now. We have the further break of structure. There we go. Price is almost at our TP as well. Let's see if that hits. There we go. So TP was hit on those two trades for $104,000, which is about 25% of the account, just those two trades. If we get rid of all of this mess now instead. Price still has quite a bit to go till our daily target is met. So we can again look for some more sells, since price is now moving with this very bearish structure. And I don't see this reversing from any of these levels just here, since we have liquidity below, and also this double bottom at the daily low as well. So I see price coming and taking out this low. So going back to the 4 hour, go to the 1 hour. So at the moment, following the trend, we have break of structure and this premium level of imbalanced supply at the top. So this would be our area of interest at the moment. Price may not want to pull back to this area anyway. So price reacted from that level. Let's see if it breaks structure here. All right, so that one's now invalid. We have a further break structure just here. Now my area of interest would probably be this zone. We have liquidity below, imbalance, area of supply. Looks like price just missed it. Right, so price is in the level. Now we can look for our confirmation entry. So I'd want to see, wrong one, this level fell. In order to take a trade from this level. It's not really a main structure point, but it is the most recent area of inefficient demand. And as you see below, we don't really have any areas for price to react from. So if this level fails, I think price is likely to continue and take out this low. So if we see if that happens. Okay, there we go. Not really seeing anywhere to enter from. See on the 2 hour, this whole region here is sort of the area of supply. So we may expect price to only come up to this sort of level rather than the top. Even though there is imbalance above. So ideally we would come back to this level of supply, but since we do have that 2 hour level of supply body right here, I don't expect price to come up that far. So if we look and see if we can get another entry instead. Right, so prices reacted from this level instead. And as you see, we did also break structure from that level. So if we refine it to the 5 minute, multiple breaks of structure. I would probably be entering from this level, stops above the high. And again, we will target the current low of the 4 hour trend and see how that goes. Okay, so that one was a stop loss. What's reacting from now? So I think maybe this area was inducement. We've still obviously had that break of structure from a key level of supply. Prices come up, filled in all of the imbalance, and if we see now, we also did break structure from that level. So I think this area of supply up here would give us a valid re-entry if it pulls back or not. We'll put it here in case it reacts from this level, because that's the hourly level of supply. And again, targeting this area down here. Let it play out. All right, there we go. Very nice trade. So now we've had a further 4 hour break of structure just here. And we still have all of this space in between here and the daily low. So we can definitely look for some more sells if price gives us an entry. Not really seeing anything at the moment. It may want to react from this level again. This area of supply, price may want to hold that again. If it breaks, then it could actually turn bullish, but we'll just have to see if price reacts here or not. See if we get a break of structure. Not really doing anything at the moment. Okay, so that level of supply did end up failing. So we sort of had a change of trend on the 4 hour because this area has failed. But first of all, before I would consider buys, I would probably want to see this level fail as well, because a lot of the times when you see changes of character, if the level of supply just above the lower high holds, then price will still sell off, and this will be a fake change of character. Yeah, so as you see, price hasn't really reacted from anything. We narrowly missed this area of demand. So I still think price has further downside to go. Going back on the 4 hour, we will monitor what price does at that level. I'll go down lower. I don't see it selling from there. Still bullish at the moment, I think. Could potentially look for buys up. We have a clear level of demand there. Break of structure, trendline liquidity. Let's see. I think I'm going to stick to my sell bias since we did tap this level. I would definitely want to see though this level closed below. So we'll mark that on. That trade would have been nice actually. See, we had break of structure, trendline liquidity, price comes in and taps the level of demand and then has a very impulsive move up. Our level of 4 hour supply also failed. Which leads price into this imbalance area here. But overall higher time frame bearish is still sells. Sorry, higher time frame bias is still sells. So we'll look for another trade. Anywhere in this sort of region really price could sell, so I'm going to be careful with the buys if we do find any. Not really seeing anything. Alright, so price now has started to break for our structure. I think this level here was most likely used as inducement by price. So we've had a reaction here, price came above, took out this wick, and now we've started to break structure. So I think price is most likely going to come down now and take out this low. So if we see on the 1 hour if we can get an entry, this would be a very nice entry. So we've had, if we mark on the structure, we've had change of character just here. Price took out this liquidity with this area of supply, so this one would be a very nice level to sell from. And I'd probably just go ahead and set a limit at this point. Stops just a bit above, and we would target, can probably make this a swing trade and go for the demand down here. We place that order and see if price wants to tag us in or not. Maybe not. Alright, so there we go. You could probably also get a re-entry at this level. However, since price, so I wouldn't be able to make this one break even if I took this trade, since since the entry with this one coincides with the entry of this one, so I probably wouldn't take that trade. But if you did miss the initial trade, this one would definitely be a valid trade if it gets tagged in or not. That one may have missed anyway, so. Oh, damn. So where did price come to? So prices sort of came to this level, and then taken us out for a stop loss. Very annoying, price was running about 5%, but oh well. Since this video has already gone on for quite some time, I'm probably going to end it here, but I hope you guys found something useful out of this video. If we go ahead and actually look at our analytics first, see overall we had this 67% win rate. We made a 30% gain with a very nice average risk to reward ratio. So yeah, I hope you guys found this video useful, and I hope you can now maybe go and backtest these ideas for yourself. Using FX replay or just TradingView bar replay also works to the same effect, but you obviously have to like record the trades yourself. But anyway, I will catch you guys in the next video.